All right. Here. Coast to Coast, episode 3 of the new season. 2-week hiatus, busy times, busy lives, but not too busy to make it to a third episode. We are here. We are back for yet another one of these Coast to Coast with you guys, with your boys. Steven Tillman, the coach, giving us Tesla Cam. We got the homie Brandon Warren, aka Wars World, and your boy CK. CK2K, you can follow all of our social medias underneath our names below. Find me everywhere at CK2K. You got Steven, who wants you to hear him talk on X, and Brandon Warren, who do not care if you find him one way or another on social media. But what up, y'all? Was that good enough?
Steve just played the Houdini act right on us. You didn't see that?
Yeah, he disappeared, vanished. Man,
you
vanished.
Still have your intro like you need a beat under it. A lot of he's coming in with some bars. The energy was on.
Oh, you guys can't hear the music. Well, there was a beat. There was music playing. Oh, I forgot. I got headed so you guys can hear it too. My fault.
Oh, okay. What was that Fat Man Scoop? That was like that kind of energy.
Oh no, broke down. What's up, y'all? Basketball, man. Y'all Lakers playing right now. How's that going?
AD just dunked, so yeah, pretty good.
It's like that. Today.
Win streak, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and today's Tuesday, so this is an NBA Cup game, no?
Yeah, it's Utah.
Oh, okay. Oh, damn. Okay, well, damn. All right, shout out to Group B, I guess. Is that what you got? Group B, Group A, what are you guys?
We got San Antonio, Utah, and the Suns.
Oh, we see? Maybe I don't know.
I think we it don't matter. Regardless, 2 years in a row we had some really bad teams in our pool play. So
I mean, defending NBA Cup champs, you know. Red carpet, I guess.
That's gonna be a thing.
Yeah, bro. Look, man,
I'm for the money. Just for the money.
Yeah, facts. But look, it's gonna. But when teams start having multiple of these, and it I'm telling you, give it about like 10 years, bro, and then people can start caring for real. But
right.
Hey, but you know who will always be the first champion? Y'all Lakers, man. You can have that. Enjoy that.
They will be.
We wear proud.
But yeah, man, episode 3 of Coast to Coast with the boys. Yeah, we apologize about the last 2 weeks. Life, man. Shout out to the Knicks. Shout out to life. You know, things happen.
The first time, you know, it was election day. A lot.
True. Yeah, I forgot that happened. That's right.
Yeah, a lot was going on.
That was purposeful.
So, you know,
that was purposeful.
nobody was gonna watch us. That
completely forgot that happened. You are so right. Election happened. People were voted for. Congratulations, or I'm sorry.
Life happens.
Right. Life definitely happens. Shout out to Rick Harrison in the chat, the YouTube viewers. I know how this goes. Typically, people show up way too late, but we do have NBA action going on as well, so people are checking that out. We just mentioned, Lakers are playing. San Antonio's beating not the brakes off, but they have a sizable lead against OKC with 7:18 left in the game. Interesting.
There was a dunk by what's his name? He just came back from injury. I can't.
Vassell?
Yeah, he made somebody fall and just caught a body.
Golly.
Nasty.
Before we get into this, be completely honest. What is a team that y'all have yet to watch not one basketball game of theirs?
Orlando Magic.
Ooh, not one.
I've heard they're on like a nice little win streak right now.
Yeah,
right?
without Paulo, they're playing pretty good basketball. My man Jamal Mosley out there doing his thing, but not one, huh? Even when Paulo was healthy. Okay, that's fair. It's East. I get it.
I was gonna say Sixers, but they played the Lakers, so I did watch that game.
Mm-hmm.
But
that's another team.
Yeah, raggedy. We played them already, so I watched them too.
Oh, I haven't seen a Pacers game. I haven't watched the Pacers play.
Yeah, you're not missing anything. I saw, unfortunately, 2 of them. Both of them were 2 completely different games.
Yeah, I didn't watch the Pacers play.
Yeah, Pacers. No, mine is the San Antonio Spurs. I know they got Victor Wembanyama and those young guys. I just have not had the want or need to watch.
Vic was out here on some Steph Curry stuff, bro.
Today or just in general?
Just in general, buddy on some Steph Curry. That 50 piece he had before the play Lakers. And then he started the game just from 38. Just
damn. Victor
I think he
Wembanyama.
realized the Kevin Durant thing. No one's going to block his shot.
I still think he needs to realize that a little bit more, to be honest with you. Like, he needs to just assert his dominance on a regular basis. That's my beef with Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah, it's close. It's close. He's close.
Yeah, he's still young, too.
You don't have the gate like that yet. You don't have that lower center of gravity just yet. So
I see what you're saying.
More years.
Yeah, it's going to take time. So I was hoping the Chris Paul thing would help that out, but I'm sure, like you said, it's still too soon. I ain't gonna say anything like that. But we briefly brought it up, but there is drama already happening, and the NBA just started. I feel like the NBA started last week, but we already double-digit amount of games for teams played. I think the Knicks just hit their 12th game, 11th game. Lakers probably around the same thing. But the season is moving. It's about to be Christmas time tomorrow. Season's moving. Crazy, bro. But with that being said, some teams that you can give that pass, like, it's a cute start. They're not playing great now, but they'll figure it out later. It's getting to that point where it's like a little worrisome that some of these teams might not turn it around. And two of those teams we are going to talk about today. But I want to start with the Philadelphia 76ers because we heard about the recent drama going on in Motown today, or at least yesterday, because we know about their raggedy record. We know about the injuries. We know about the fines, all of the above. And it looks like the team wanted to do a player-only meeting. And they had that meeting, and a certain somebody, a young upcoming star, wanted to call out the MVP, saying that they need to be more accountable and start showing up to all the things all the time, and that he's allegedly always late. And there's been all kinds of memes going on today. It's been all over the place. But my question to you guys is first of all, and the player, spoiler, it was Tyrese Maxey talking about Joel Embiid. First of all, Tyrese Maxey, do you guys like it? Do you hate it? Do you think it's cool that he did it? And second of all, what's your thought about the entire thing? So I'm going to let y'all have the floor. Whoever wants to go first.
I like it.
Yeah.
I love it, actually. I love it. I love it because there's a standard that should be had. And I know most of that team isn't too many returnees in terms of, like that type of Philly thought process that they have. The heck is that? So it only makes sense to be Maxey. Maxey plays hard. He's grinding hard. I believe they're friends. But even if they weren't, like, he's been on that team playing. And it's like somebody's got to say it. Let it be one of the other alphas who has the ball in their hand.
Right.
It's unfortunate. Those are the things that I'm hearing about, like being on time. Like, bro, you were MVP. You play with the Olympics with the best of the best. No way you left that group and was like, man, I'll show up when I want to. Like, that being a thing is crazy.
It's crazy.
The team, and you could tell it, like, the record speaks probably more towards the culture and on the team versus, like, some sort of team, like, we're going to fight until you get here, right? Like, you have those type of teams, but it's like this seems like everyone's walking on eggshells in terms of, like, their way to, even something small, like they're saying they would like to be coached harder. Like, everyone seems to not be in the same thought process due to Embiid. And he's got to own it. I hope he comes out and speaks on it, because like his last game he played, it's something that ain't right. Like, you supposed to lead. Like, when you come back, you should have led it. Like, we should have had, a crazy performance and team play. Like, we ain't getting none of that. Y'all just look just as bad. Hey, no, that's unacceptable. So I love it for Maxey, because it tells me he know he's
right.
dog.
Right.
And tell him you need to match my energy, big dog.
Right.
Yep. More or less the same thing that Steve said. Like, this whole team is centered around Joel Embiid, and Joel Embiid is very much just saying, yeah, I kind of care. I might care today. I might care tomorrow, but there's no sense of urgency with him trying to play the season. And, when you play the Olympics and you show out pretty well for, the last, 2 or 3 games, and you're always talking about always injured or always something wrong, something's not right health-wise for Joel. it's just it's not sending the same message. It's not a consistent message for that team. So I do appreciate Maxey doing what he did. He wanted to step up and be that leader and take that challenge. But this whole team is centered around Joel, and if he's going to have that kind of message, how are you going to expect, play? What does Shaq say? The other guys?
Yeah, the others.
The others.
How are you going to expect them to, come out and be like, well, if you don't care, I don't care.
Why I care? Right. Why should I care?
Yeah.
Why should I care? I like it. Look, man, we could, the memes and everything have been great, but it's still so early in the season that for that reason Knicks had off. I like it for the Sixers because it shows that he cares, because I think the Sixers get that from an outside perspective. Sorry, Cap, I know you're in the chat, but from an outside perspective, a lot of people who pay attention to what's going on to the Sixers, they just give that vibe. And I think Steven mentioned it with Embiid coming back, and it didn't even make a difference. The Sixers just seem like they already mailed it in. Like they already playing like it's just this thing's over. It's done deal. Like they're not good. They're not as good this year. Pack it up. We'll try it again next year kind of vibe. But with Tyrese Maxey saying that, and he's still missing some time with the injury, it's good to know that there's still some heart and somebody cares, and they're not afraid to talk to your friend, your teammate, the other leader on this team as a younger guy. And I appreciate that. I love that. I think that's something that's missing in the NBA today. Everybody's just trying to go with the flow, but call everybody out, hold everyone accountable, MVP or not. So I'm here for it. Yeah, you mentioned Joel Embiid not looking great in his last game, Steve. One of the things that's talked about, and Knicks fans are big on this because a lot of Knicks fans, myself included, are still very upset with Joel Embiid with what he did to Mitchell Robinson. But for the most part, a lot of Knicks fans troll him that he, if he wasn't flopping, doesn't get foul calls, he's just a regular center in the league. To Steven's point about his stats last game, that was a game where he didn't shoot a single free throw, and he came out with, just a regular baseline stat line. Now, I had to say that as the Knicks fan, but I honestly ask you guys, we know he's coming back from an injury. Are you guys worried about the injury, or is it just like everything else? It's early. He's getting back in the flow. He's going to be fine. What's your thoughts of Joel Embiid? He's somebody that worries me all around because he just seems like he's made of glass. Great season last year, great MVP run and all that stuff. But is that time done? Or do you think everything's going to turn back around? It's not a really big deal, and we just let Joel Embiid cook. What do you guys think about it?
I think. Go
ahead, Steve.
Yeah, my biggest issue with Embiid is I don't know if Embiid takes Embiid like himself serious, because there's just too many. Often he's just out of shape. Just like no one's asking you to be something you are not. You have shown. If you tell him your MVP year was like too much, when I felt like every game he was present, he was active, he was committing to both sides. Like that's your job, right. Like to be in shape. I was telling somebody earlier, like NBA players, when they play, that's their job. But showing up to practice is part of it. The other part is what you do when you're not in the gym with your team. And if you're just a dude on the couch,
yeah,
and I'll show up, like we've seen this before. That's what Kobe got mad at Shaq about. Like, you're too talented to just rely on your talent. If that is what Embiid is trying to do, it's not like he's, climbing the hills, taking care of his body, because the older he get, he has to. So most of it, I don't really care too much about what his injuries are, because I believe he's part of the reasons some of his injuries are happening, and I believe he can and will. That I believe there's some sort of pride in him that wants to, and I hope he does. But I want to say, I feel like 80% is him taking care of his body, and whether it's eating well or just getting up and getting your body conditioned. There's enough trainers in the world who can help you at your frame, your size, figure out what you need to do to make sure you're doing well on the court and to be able to play. Yeah. You're not playing football.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
It's the most repetitious game that there is professionally, and
staying healthy.
No. I'm talking about the game of basketball. As far as
general.
you do a lot of the same thing
Got you.
over and over and over again.
Got you.
And he's made this decision to make this into a career. And unfortunately, like I said, it's the most repetitious game. So if your body's already breaking down at what 27 when he was having still like all these major knee surgeries and missing time in the playoffs and stuff like that. Now he's drafted.
Since he was drafted, he had a major knee injury. I mean, he fought through it, but yeah, I mean, it's been a nagging injury throughout his career.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And think of the weight gain from when he was drafted.
Yeah.
And obviously it's a cop out to go back to the GOATs, or my GOAT in general, is that Kobe, he had to have knee surgery. He got that blood infusion, and then had to go through like alternate medicine, basically, to figure out different ways to have a competitive edge over, 23-year-olds, 24-year-olds, the Phoenix Suns, the Denver Nuggets, whatever the team may be. So, it is his responsibility to take care of his career. Obviously, if he's good, then he's good. Like, he's going to be exactly where he is and not really be remembered as a legend for the Philly. When that has a prime opportunity, they've been crying for years since AI to really have somebody that's going to be,
But I didn't like his statement. I've done too much for this league or this team, and be like,
hasn't done anything.
stop it, bro. Stop.
He hasn't done anything.
They rewarded you by paying you. That's the return right there. Like, I can't stay in there. Maybe because I watched Kobe for years and years.
Okay.
I watched LeBron for years and commit to the game of basketball.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. It was why people complained about AD. AD finally bought in, taking care of his body, getting prepared, playing on certain injuries that you can. Like, that's what you get paid to do. The greats did it. You could do it. And so,
you worried me.
I can be, but I didn't like that statement.
Oh, you worried me because I thought you said you liked it. I'm like, interesting. But
No, I
didn't.
No, I didn't like that statement about what he's done for Philly. You ain't done nothing.
No, I completely agree. Completely agree. Shout out to the MVP, but that's a you thing. That's not really a Philly thing. And like I said, I'm just worried about the long term with them. I'm not worried as a Knicks fan, but as if we're talking about being completely unbiased in this conversation, the concern going into the season before a game was even played was the concern and the thought if they have Paul George and Joel Embiid, who are two notorious players.
That's what I feel bad for.
Yeah, but no, I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad for Paul George because look, think about it, Steve. This is the first time there is controversy going on and the fingers being pointed at somebody that's not Paul. Paul's sitting there like, oh damn, somebody else getting called out. Damn, is that what it feels like from over here? Oh,
but
damn.
Can you imagine signing your contract?
True.
You get there right before season starts.
Yeah.
The guy you want to play with goes, I ain't really gonna play back.
But I mean, he left that to go to another situation with the same thing, so he already used to that. Shout out to Kawhi. So I mean, it ain't nothing new. That ain't nothing new. I mean, what we talking about?
Bro.
It's
it kind of probably speaks to why he ain't saying much because he got paid.
right, 100%. He got paid.
I'll take him.
Yeah,
but he was just gonna be number 3 there. Like,
yeah,
I know now he back to number 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, that's tough.
Yeah,
I just feel bad for him a little bit.
Yeah.
I actually got a lot of years in life, so he'll be all right.
Time to transition.
Already.
That's crazy. I mean, I don't know. That's crazy.
It's not something that obviously they should do right now, but it's getting louder. That door is like, the knock is loud. Okay.
The knock is loud.
Yeah. So
the NBA seasons is literally mid-season and after. Like, it ain't like the NFL where it's like you got small windows. NBA got a lot of windows, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You one trade or two away from getting a chance.
Yeah. It's a weird time in the NBA right now, man. It's just, right, teams that shouldn't be good are good. Teams that are supposed to be good have been raggedy. It's just a weird time in the league right now. Shout out to the chat rocking with us here on this episode. Sorry, what were you going to say, Steve? What were you going to say?
No, I thought that was funny.
Oh,
There's a lot of reasons why, but
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah, no, there's definitely different reasons for it. We're gonna talk about another one of those teams here in a second.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just been one of those years. I got to give our resident Philly fan a chance. I'm gonna read off what Cap. Shout out to Edgar Allan Fro in our chat. He is our resident Philly fan, and it's funny. We bring the show back, and we've talked about Philly so much. And it's like, this is for you, dog. This show is meant for you, Cap, and this is not intentional. Y'all just want to be the headline of our show every damn week. So that being said, I want to give him his 2 cents. So he said, this can take a really sour turn for Embiid. While the media doesn't like him, the fans have always had his back. Him being exposed for not caring will take that away quickly. He then said, the Sixers are in the best spot to be awful right now. Since the Eagles are doing well, the microscope isn't on the Sixers, so they have 6 weeks at least to figure it out and turn it around. That's a good, you know?
That's true.
It's a good business
And
call.
to add to that, they do play in the East.
They do play, right, bro. Yeah, the East is all over the place. All over the place. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. He also said
that's probably the most positive thing I've ever heard Cap say ever about any of his teams. Okay,
really. Cap always sounds really optimistic when he talks about the Sixers. I haven't heard him sound crazy about the Sixers since when Ben Simmons was on the team. He used to come and check. Ben Simmons and Tobias Harris were his 2 favorite players. I say sarcastically. Now both of them been gone. He's been super optimistic when it comes to him talking about the Sixers as of late. As of late, at least.
Changed man.
He's a changed man, bro. He also said Paul doesn't escape this either. He's still beefing with Clippers fans, and he was supposed to play and help to keep the team afloat without Embiid.
That is true.
He ain't wrong. Paul, that didn't against us. Didn't he have like 7 points or something like that, Cap? Paul George was non-existent.
It was like his first couple games back, though, right?
Okay, but his first game back, didn't he went crazy for like 100% from the field, or like 80% from the field, and like 20-some points. Yeah, Paul George. Yeah, he's been back and forth. So he's not wrong. He's not wrong.
But this probably alludes to the part of one of Nick Nurse being more intentional about coaching, because
right.
They don't even look like a team right now.
It's a weird. I mean, shout out to y'all boy, Mr. TikTok, Jared. He's doing his thing, bro. That boy out there shooting and dancing on folks after the game. Like he is. I saw it firsthand. Like he almost single-handedly brought them back.
School.
Yeah, he's doing his thing. He's
Cool.
Always been a hooper. You know, everyone loves to, in today's day and age, we love to point at the stuff that athletes do outside of the court more so than what they do on field, court, wherever they play. But this dude's been a hooper. This dude has been a hooper. I know people want to make the memes about TikTok and stuff like that. Nah, check out his tape from high school. Check out his tape just last year in college. Dude's a hooper, and he's doing his thing in Philadelphia, but he's the only one. And that's not his fault. It's not his fault, but he's.
Could you imagine though, like when we were in high school and like TikTok was a thing,
bruh,
and like we just gotta watch this dude drop a 30, 40 piece on us, and like all of a sudden after the game, we check out. This man is doing a TikTok there. I would be
those apps aren't good for when we were in school.
Facts.
No. They all come out in the right time. Everything come out in the right time.
Yep. No. Hell no.
Ain't no way. Twitter when we was in school. No.
Hell no. Hell no.
These kids are more equipped to be full of this energy in all the right places. Like we weren't built for that.
You're right.
We went to the park and home.
Well put. In all the right places. Well put.
Yeah.
Well put. What up, Dale? What up, Rick? How you guys doing in the chat? Shout out to everybody coming through here. Coast to Coast, episode 3 of the new season. We just finished talking about the Philadelphia 76ers. Would love to hear what you guys have to say. If you guys are watching us over on Spotify, they have a new comment section. So let us know what you think about any part of this conversation. And also, if you're watching on the VOD here on YouTube, we would love to hear what you have to say, and we'll be in the comments and we'll respond. But yeah, Philadelphia 76ers, I agree. Cap, I think he put the nail in the coffin. This is the perfect time for them to go through all this because it's still early, and like Steven said, it's still the East. Philadelphia, I'm not what's it called? I'm not marking them off yet, but a team that has been marked off since the beginning of the season by one of the members on this panel is none other than the next team we're going to talk about, the Milwaukee Bucks. And somebody is looking real smart right about now when the other two were saying, nah, they still gonna do this. Nah, they gonna be fine. One person called us out and said, really? That team? You sure? We talking about the damn Milwaukee Bucks, and they are I mean, they're winning a little bit now. They're slowly finding their game. Hell, they just celebrated finally beating an above 500 team in the Houston Rockets this past week. So congratulations to them.
And that was off a bad pass.
Bro, that still was lucky. Yeah, facts. But the Milwaukee Bucks are just all over the place right now. And you know, it's funny because I think I know what you guys are going to say, but I still want to hear your different individual opinions on why they are who they are, where they are right now. And then there's also some rumors around their all-star, MVP, superstar player Giannis Antetokounmpo going around. But my question to you guys is, who's to blame? And whoever it is, should Giannis also get some of that blame as well instead of looking to try and get out of the situation? That's what I got to ask y'all, because it seems like we're talking about Giannis' possible trade destinations, but Mr. Giannis, and I'm a big fan, love everything you do on and off the court, but Mr. Giannis Antetokounmpo, I feel like a lot of this team was built by you. LeBron James gets blamed every year. When something goes wrong with whatever team he was on, LeBron is what they call him, Le GM, right? But I'm pretty sure Giannis, you got a big part on what this roster has turned into. So my question to you guys is, who's at fault, and should Giannis get some of this blame or majority of the blame as well? I'm gonna hand it off to you, B.
I'm gonna let Warren go.
Yeah, B. Take it.
It's my time to shine.
Yeah,
like Steve would say.
Go ahead, dog. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead. It's still early, but go ahead.
You know, obviously we can always go back to being a Doc Rivers issue, which all of us have agreed upon that is a significant issue. But looking at the stats and looking at the team, there's two things that point out to me. They don't run. I know that they're an older team.
Yeah.
But I've seen a LeBron James at 38 years old run like a gazelle. I've seen like one leg Anthony Davis run up the floor like a gazelle. I've seen teams that were just as old as them, like the Miami Heat, that will run up and down the court just like that, just like the Lakers. So it's possible. What happens when you get fast break points? You rebound. They don't really have any kind of rebounders like that. You got Brook Lopez, notoriously known for being one of those guys that's like, can I get 9 rebounds from you? No, I can only get 6, maybe 7. All right. Then Giannis, he's typically like in the past, he'll get maybe 11 rebounds, right? But right now, I think he's at that 8-9 mark right now.
Yeah.
But that only accounts for 15 to 16 rebounds a game. Who else is going to get rebounds for that team right now? Ain't nobody. It's a guessing game. I know Dame's not going to get no rebounds for you like that.
Big guy Bobby, no Bobby Portis rebounds?
Bobby Portis maybe 3 to 5 rebounds.
True. Because he hanging out of the 3-point line. You're right.
So you might have 20 rebounds a game.
You're right.
All those rebounds can easily lead to easy buckets for them, but they're not doing it. You got one of the best players in a half-court setting that can spread the floor, and then you got somebody that's one of the best transition players, and you're not utilizing either one of their skills. That's a recipe for disaster to me. From what I can quickly observe from the few games that I've watched, like maybe like 6 minutes of each game. So obviously, like I said, Doc Rivers is something, but they also got some personnel issues that I think a trade or two, I think they need to move on from Middleton somehow, some way.
Middleton ain't even play it. How does Middleton's fault?
It's not his fault.
Oh,
but,
okay.
You know, obviously he's got a big contract. If you can move that big contract and get rid of some, you know, with some draft capital, I feel like you can get a little bit more depth than what you're getting from Middleton that hasn't been able to play the last couple seasons. You know, availability is always the number one thing for any sport.
Amen. It's a skill.
Yep.
Okay. Steven, you was with me,
Buddy
bro.
said everybody. Yeah, I
Yeah,
was.
you was
And
with
I
me,
still
bro.
am. I still
Same.
am. But the problem is, my biggest issue, I agree with you, the pace of play. The issue is somewhere between Doc and Greek, they aren't on the same page.
Okay.
And their play style between the two. Now, look, Doc Rivers regular season, I do believe in that dude. I've seen a lot,
Yeah.
but there seems to be a conflict between the two in style of play. Like the one example that like confirmed it was the Hornets game. I don't know if you guys watch, but for the game winner, he's at the top of the elbow, and that's ISO, and there's this big old box. The Hornets just play pack it in. And I don't think we've ever seen a game winner with a non-shooter with the ball. I don't care if he's the best player. I've never seen
I
Greek
think
ISO at the top of the key for a game winner. I've never ever seen that. And the fact that either it was Greek, if it was Doc, which would surprise me, that would disappoint me. But I can't. I only imagine that this is Giannis. I'm thinking he's something he's not. He's never been there. Maybe it is Middleton's fault. Because if he was on the floor, maybe it wouldn't happen. Who knows? But like Giannis doesn't seem to like build from what he's very good at. And I can't. There's not enough players on that team to be who ain't making them do it. So there seems to be some sort of conflict, like him getting downhill, being a part of pick and roll versus being the pick and roll guy. There's not enough Dame and Greek pick and roll at all. Like I
There
will
it
never
is.
understand that.
There it is.
Why is he not in a row? What the heck is going on? Well, there we go. Why is there not? I don't. Just like voodoo. Like I will never understand. Like why is that not at least 25% of your play? LeBron and AD, like everyone knew when they got together there was going to be some pick and roll. When the trade happened, everyone was like, man, can you imagine? Like, how is that not a thing ever?
Yeah.
And that disappointed me. That's so there's some sort of schematic problem that I just can't tell who. I know Doc's not the guy who would just do what I say because Giannis is still a star, but I would also give blame to Giannis. I will never understand professional GMs, owners listening to players about personnel stuff. Like that's never been good.
Yeah.
LeBron, none of them. Unless it's an obvious player, that's cool. But why are we listening to players?
Yeah. Yeah.
I will never understand that. Like,
Yeah.
maybe it's because I'm coach, but I wish a player would tell me that's not related to schematic of how to get you open or whatever. Tell me about personnel, and that's the whole point of a coach.
Yeah.
Our job is to do that. Like, that's our job to figure that part out. I just can't imagine. Yeah, let's get rid of this coach. You hire Adrian Griffin. Now you don't want him. You want Doc Rivers. Now you feel like he really doesn't listen to him.
Yeah.
The idea he's kind of made threats about leaving. I just can't. That affects the way our league is. And Greek, these guys who are supposed to be face of the league, they are causing more problems within their own organization that we can't like. That's my biggest. I mean, we haven't talked about that, but that's part of the reason. The NBA is what it is right now because of the particular stars. Right now, it should be Embiid and Greek all over TV, but we still talking about LeBron and Steph Curry.
Yep.
And KD,
because they actual leaders. Like you said, we're gonna talk about that for sure.
So
yeah.
I hope Greek doesn't cop out the whole "let me leave." He should, like Embiid, they both need to figure it out.
I agree.
You both need to be coached. You're not bigger than anything other than being a basketball player. Like, so just do that.
I agree. Once upon a time, I was Team Embiid, get the hell out. But now you made your bed. Now it's your squad. Everybody that you wanted as a runmate has come through and has left. Now you got PG. You made your bed. Now lay in it, sir, and try and figure it out. And the same thing goes to Giannis. I completely agree. Giannis has had so many renditions of the Milwaukee Bucks, some that were a championship team, and then you got rid of a very key piece in that championship team to get what's supposed to be the next best thing. And to your point, I'm so glad you brought it up. And to get them and then not even use them right. Yes, we saw Damian Lillard and him go on a run of having a lot of great scoring nights early on in the season, but That was it. They would score. Rest of the team wouldn't do anything else, and then they would lose. And there's a reason for that. Because like you were saying, you really wonder how much, and I can't believe I'm defending Doc Rivers, but you really wonder how much coaching is actually being listened to in that locker room. You really want to know because you're seeing, when you watch this team play, it just seems like it is just, we won't figure this out on the go. Like maybe this time Giannis will move the ball. No, Giannis is shooting today. All right, Giannis is gonna shoot the ball today, guys. We're gonna figure out a way to hopefully get a rebound. If not, we're gonna get back and play defense. There just seems like there's no like thought process, or if there is a thought process, they're not listening or going by what the actual game plan is. It just seems like all over the place on this team.
They both admitted,
we 100%
didn't practice this offseason together.
100%.
That's more Greek.
That's
what I'm saying.
You gonna be on my team?
That's what I'm saying.
You need to meet me here.
That's what I'm saying. 100%.
Are you kidding me?
I completely agree. That's what I'm saying. And I love Giannis, but look, we can criticize players that are good for this is a Giannis thing. Personally, humble opinion, this is a Giannis thing. You wanted Damian Lillard. You said I want help. So the way that they had to do that, they had to give up the actual second best player on your team in Drew Holiday, who was out there thriving in Boston right now because his role made more sense for you than what Damian Lillard's role will ever make sense, because y'all ain't using it properly. Like you mentioned LeBron James and Anthony Davis picking roles. It's just it's common sense. The Knicks right now are figuring out how to use Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns in the pick and roll. We're these two have played 12 games together, and we're already getting it down, and it's been damn near unstoppable. You mean to tell me that you can't, like, even if y'all listening to Doc do it, y'all can't communicate amongst each other like, yo, let me get a shot like this, or let me roll so we can get you in your strong spot. Anyways, the Bucks right now are just all over the place, but I'm being stubborn and I'm standing on business that they will get it figured out. I mean, right now they're starting to slowly win these games, at least for the regular season. Are they a championship? I can't say that confidently. I don't think that's the case. But as far as
they
championship,
have to figure it out.
They have no choice.
There's like not making the playoffs or being in there. Like, this is legacy on both sides.
Amen.
On both sides.
On all sides, bro. Dame too. Yes.
You want to play different.
Yes.
Superstars, you got to be held to a different standard. Now, that's just
facts.
As a fan, I cannot accept that. I know I have coach tendencies in my thoughts, but I wish my best player would tell me we ain't hang out. One of y'all got to go.
Yeah.
Sorry, one of y'all got to go. Ain't no way. Which one of y'all buying in? If not, we got to go. There's too much money out here to be paid to players that it's like seeming to work. It works the wrong way because I get paid a lot. I ain't got to show up on time. No, because you get paid a lot. I need you to be on time. You need to be the first ones here. To be the example to the dudes trying to get their next contract.
Yeah.
You know, I can't wait to get the next topic. I got a lot to say on that one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm excited to talk about that too. But yeah, and my final point on it is, we know about the rumors. We know about what Brooklyn is the name that comes. Brooklyn's the name that comes up a lot with Giannis as a late. They have draft picks. I think that's all it is. They have draft picks, and they have Cam Thomas, who all of a sudden has become available for. Look, man, if Giannis comes to Brooklyn, like, Godspeed, brother. Like, I don't know if that's what you think it's gonna be. I just don't see Giannis as the kind of guy that wants to be in a major market. But what do I know? What do I know?
Send him to the Hornets. Send him to the Hornets.
Man, with LaMelo or for LaMelo?
No, with LaMelo.
OKC's got all them picks, man.
Oh, no, we're not messing that up. We're not messing that up.
I wouldn't want. Yeah, to be real, I know. Yeah. Fit is a huge part of the NBA in 2024. As great of a player as Giannis is, he don't make no damn sense for what they got going on. But yeah, interesting, man. We'll see though. Real quick before we move on to the subject we all want to talk about, does Giannis Antetokounmpo get traded anywhere between today we talk and this time next year in a brand new NBA season? Yes or no?
No. Not at all.
Brandon.
I think you already know my answer.
You think he's getting traded?
Say what?
You think he is getting traded?
Who, Giannis?
Giannis.
Oh, no. I don't think he's getting traded. Right. No.
Yeah, he ain't going nowhere. This is all a bunch of smoke. I ain't buying it.
I think Giannis is cemented. He's made it very clear that Milwaukee is his home.
He's a Milwaukee guy.
All these trash rumors, bro. Yeah, all these rumors don't make no damn sense. People just talking right now. Anyways, chat, is saying, fire Doc Rivers. My favorite response came from Cap, actually, when we talked about who to blame. He quoted Drake, ew. He said, what Drake say? Eyes closed and I'm just swinging. Facts, because it's anybody's fault at this point when it comes to Milwaukee.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. And then Dale over here trying to play my GM mode, trying to find ways to fix the Milwaukee Bucks. He says, hear me out. Bring in Westbrook and let him get 15 rebounds off the bench. Then he said, he ain't done yet, y'all.
Contribution.
He ain't done yet. And then bring in Julius Randle to take you to the promised land. Ladies and gentlemen, our local troll, Dale. Dale loves to provide the trolling content. But Dale's dead serious. He typed that out and sat back in his chair like, watch. He said, what? He said, look. He said, bingo. Go ahead, Milwaukee. Thank me later. But yeah, no. Milwaukee's all over the place. They winning a little bit of games now, and that's how crazy the East is too. They started off so bad, but even right now, sitting at what, 5 and they're 5-9, bro. The Hawks are 7-8. The Bucks are a few games away from being right there, right behind the Knicks and the Magic in the top 5. So as ugly and as dysfunctional as that team has been, I stand on the Milwaukee Bucks are still gonna find themselves in the playoffs. Now, if they win the championship, that ain't happening. That's not happening.
East is a joke, bro.
Yeah.
East is a joke.
Hey.
Anyways,
I said it. No argument. Dame trade gifted the Celtics a chip. Facts. 100%. Drew Holiday was thought of as the afterthought in that trade when Damian Lillard was the sexy piece, but Drew Holiday, in fact, was the most valuable piece of that trade. I love Dame. It's just, Drew Holiday is that kind of guy that makes you a playoff contending team to a championship team. That's just what it is. It's just what it is.
It's also the Bucks' fault too, because he didn't want to go there.
No, but it's the Bucks for listening to Giannis.
That's true.
It's the Bucks' fault for listening to Giannis. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
Asking for a dude who didn't want to be there.
Come on, man.
That man teased about leaving, so they got scared.
They sure did.
Yeah, did the thing.
Anyways, whatever. Stupid Celtics. Speaking of the Celtics, why people not watching the NBA, y'all? What's going on, bro? It came out.
Say loud. Say loud.
No, it's coming out. It's been first of all, it's finally being reported, but it is no secret. I would say strongly, probably right after the pandemic, the NBA has been trying its hardest to get back viewership. That bubble really did lose some viewership for the NBA, and they've been hemorrhaging since, but they're trying to act like they're not. But now it's officially being reported that viewership, as of last year, they're trying to keep it to just last year, but if you look at the numbers past last year, it's been pretty rough. But since last year, viewership for certain big dates for the NBA has been way, way down. So much so that the NFL is out here flexing and saying, you know what? We used to let y'all have Christmas, but y'all ain't really doing nothing with it. We'll take it this year. By the way, Beyonce, I'll see you at halftime. So NFL trying to impede on NBA stomping grounds because people are just not watching the NBA right now. And when I first saw this, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, yeah, it's probably bad, but it can't be that bad. And I thought to myself, I used to use my league pass. I used to go from game to game. Like as soon as the Knicks was done, I'm ready to see what else is going on. Now I might care a little bit on some of these teams because of a player here and there, but even then I'll go to the game, see what the score is, see the referees doing something, seeing that it's like it's a slow-paced game, it's not fun, and then I end up turning it off and I'm watching, I don't know, SpongeBob or something else on TV because I could care less anymore. And then that's when I realized that, yeah, there's a lot of things to point at as to why the NBA viewership is so low down, and it feels like everybody has a different answer, which is why I could not wait to have this conversation with you guys, because I know y'all too got opinions. I got opinions as well, but I really, really want to get to y'all, give y'all the floor.
No, start us off.
You want me to start it off? All right.
I do. I want to hear you at.
Referees, man. Referees, man.
Big fan.
Referees, man. Referees. Shout out to Thomas K. Thibodeau the fourth for finally mentioning it and talking about it. But here, no, Knicks fan aside, referees for the reason where when you're watching a basketball game and the final minutes have nothing to do with the basketball on the court, it has to do with a ref reviewing a call or a referee making foul calls off of little to minimal contact, taking away the momentum of a basketball game. To me, that is an issue, and that's one side of it. The other side of it is as well that these calls for superstars, we talked about it earlier with Joel Embiid, these calls for superstars are getting way out of hand where defense does not exist in the NBA. And I don't care what anybody says. I understand people think that they want to see all these 50 and 60-point games. You don't. I'm telling you right now, my name is Christopher Clark. I'm telling you, don't. You think you do, but you don't. I guarantee you would enjoy a game a lot more like we did when you watch basketball in the early 2000s. I'm not going to go as far back as the 90s. We can make the argument about them fighting, and that's not defense. But I'm telling you, I watched Kobe Bryant, like Ruben Patterson. I guarantee you some of you don't even know who Ruben Patterson is. But Kobe Bryant made Ruben Patterson popular because Ruben Patterson was known as the Kobe stopper, because all he did was strictly go out there to play defense against Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant would still get his stats, but we weren't talking about that. We were talking about Kobe was shooting about 20-some% against Ruben Patterson. Defense makes basketball fun. And I'm telling you, when you're watching these games and you're, instead of letting the teams decide what's going on the floor, you're letting the two teams with about 30 seconds left, let them decide what's happening as far as defense being played. Now, obviously, if somebody punches someone in the face, drops them, like, it makes it within reason, do what you got to do. But if you're making these phantom calls that end up giving the other team the game, it takes away from the experience, and then it makes the whole argument about, oh, the NBA is rigged, oh, betting is taking over the league. Da, 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 da. I feel like defense has become so far extinct in the NBA to the point where a lot of these games, where what was once a fun thing when you saw a 120 to 118 score game used to be fun, to now it's like, damn, they only scored 118. I feel like that is an issue within itself. Personally, I don't want to be the fun police. I don't want to sound like Unc. I don't want to sound. I'm sorry, but that's just how I personally feel. I'll take it. But that's how I personally feel. I feel like with the referees taking defense out of the game, and they're aware of this. They talked about it mid-season last year, talking about, all right, we're aware that we're doing too much and we're missing calls and we're making calls that don't make sense. So now we're going to try and bring in the playoff style of refereeing in the game. And they did it for about 3 weeks. And that was probably the most exciting 3 weeks of basketball we had in a long time. And I'm talking about across the league. Every minute there was something that was happening because it came down to a make or miss shot down the stretch where there was not a foul call, there was no referees in question, both teams were low in fouls. It was exciting. Things that were typically called a foul, or players are complaining, referees were swallowing the whistles and they were letting them play. It was a fun time. And then poof, out of nowhere, they went right back to where they're refereeing right now. I stand that is one of the big, there's many issues, but I don't want to talk and take the entire time because I want these two to talk. But I'm standing on that being the biggest thing is I'm taking on the battle against the Zebras. And I feel like defense being extinct in the NBA are two very key factors as to why the NBA just is not as fun to watch on a nightly basis. We're going to get those occasional games, but for the most part, you're going to see more high-scoring games with terrible shooting than you're seeing games being determined by players on both sides playing defense, locking people up. CK has spoken. That's all I got to say.
Hey, Steve, how much you think? How heavy is that Knicks cap on Chris right now? How heavy do you think that is right?
20. That was like 80-20.
Y'all don't agree? Y'all don't agree? Y'all don't have that problem over there?
No, I don't have that problem with the refs. Not with the refs. Not the refs.
Really? Okay. Interesting.
No,
Interesting.
I do. I think the refs get involved. Maybe. I think that's more Adam Silver in terms of the way the defense can be played. I think the refs are the same. I kind of piggy to, like, for example, like football. We get pissed at the refs making them calls. We also know, right? So, like, another part I think the NBA, even if that is true, I think there's another part the NBA can control, which the defense, I agree with you, could be better. The refs do play a part of it. I think that's more so NBA in terms of having too many unnecessarily rules in regards to being able to play.
The referees are the one that
at the NBA level. They do. But I actually have a bigger. My issue it goes bigger than that for the NBA. I feel like the salary cap thing and all this,
100%.
the
That's a big one
that
too.
to me is taken away from the sport of basketball because in football you could get away with it because there's 55 guys. You always have the unsung hero, but there's a lot of plays that can be made within the game. It's already physical, right?
Mm.
Basketball is not physical. So when you already take the physical, like for example, shooting is not a thing in this form of basketball because everyone can do it. Everyone's gonna yak up shots. It was special with the Warriors because they had some incredible shooters, but the way they played started that way. But like to me, making this whole salary cap thing like evenly balanced with all fun and competitive, that ain't fun to watch.
Yeah.
Like I was telling my boy the other day when KD went to the Warriors, everybody watched because we wanted to see the first team to beat them. Who was gonna beat them? We already knew they was gonna make it to the finals. First team to beat them. And thank God for LeBron because he gave us some crazy finals when he got there. But you need heavyweights in basketball. You need those guys. Like not forget this two stars and some role players. Like no offense to me, that guys were I boring. I want to see because there's not enough superstars to spread around.
There's not
Like
enough upcoming superstars.
I don't care how good many Pistons games they win. Everybody watching the Pistons. I don't care how much the Hornets play. Ain't nobody. We've seen more about the Hornets just because Lamelo on TV saying the wrong stuff. Like I think Draymond said today they wanted to talk about him get suspended because there's nothing to talk about. There's like basketball has to be something to talk about. We will watch like maybe as a I could be different. For example, that dude making those trades. We know we can't even get to that part because the salaries have to match. A team can't, they can't take any kind of contracts for this. Like, we don't care about that stuff. The
Yeah.
fans don't want to care about that. What we want to know is, I need to get that dude on my team. How many it takes? When AD became a Laker, we was like, dang, they gave up a million picks. Cat just reads like, dang, that's all they get. Like, we need that. The NBA needs that. If Sam's only gonna report some injuries like this is gonna be whack. We
Yeah.
want to hear more than just that. It does help if Embiid and Giannis, but like two of the superstars are on losing teams on the East. Ain't nothing to talk about.
Yep.
We talking about LeBron have a triple double 4 days straight. Like man, it's awesome. But it's like after that, what's the next storyline? Like if we still have to rely our game on LeBron, Curry, and it's unfortunate Katie's hurt. We don't. Think about this. We haven't seen anything from Ant-Man, Devin Booker, any of the like the next group. We ain't heard much. And no disrespect to any of them, but that's the bar of what the Bron, the Currys in the world. And so since we can't get it, like we need to put them on the same. Like we need a storyline, make that stuff happen. But you can't do it if the salary cap is just going to try to be all professional. Like we don't like that. We want it. I mean, I do personally. I would just like. I think when the highest level of basketball is when we saw that kind of controversy of this may happen. This person, no, like think about how far did it fall off when Dame went to the Bucks.
Yeah.
Like now we talking about how bad they are. So that trade didn't do a lot. Dejounte get murdered. Like these low level trades aren't sports media. But then that's the other part. Media and sports, if it's not talking about somebody getting a technical, this is where the NBA has to get better with people on TV. The NFL has several great shows that break down and talk about each team. There's not a single show in the NBA that helps the NBA stay advertised if it's not Stephen A coming up with some sort of slogan about a player.
Yeah.
There's no actual basketball breakdown that helps the eye. How come Victor is shooting this well from three? They may not think it, but if the NBA NFL can do it when we're talking about schemes and they're doing it, there's so much information in basketball that there's not one show that talks about it. And when it did, we got JJ and LeBron. Everyone watched it. Everyone uses it. Everyone wanted to be nosy. Now they coaching. They on the same team. So like we need more information in regards to the game of basketball because I think people like Kay Cunningham, people like what's his name from the Blazers have been playing well, Shaden
My
Sharp.
boy Shaden
Like there are
Sharp. That's
certain
my guy.
players
Shout out to Shaden Sharp,
that
man.
that you could talk about that doesn't have to be woo, he's knocked the 35-foot three. Basketball no, it has a better respect than what it should be given, other than Kendrick Perkins making up trash slogans on TV about the game of basketball. There should be more into like I listen to Jeff Teague and those guys, like there should be guys who didn't play TV talking about sports. TNT, who I love inside the NBA, they no longer talk about basketball.
Yeah,
And that is like,
that shows
so
collapse.
you've lost all media of sports.
Yeah.
On top of you have this cap salary and guys won't move. There should be a 6-minute episode. Like Get Up will do a 10-minute episode on why the Cowboys are trying. Why don't we have one and why the Bucks are playing so bad? Or why this is happening? What could be done better? It's possible where you can wrench the whole. You're not going to have to because Steph Curry closer to retiring than not. And when they are gone, I'm nervous about the NBA.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have the superstars to shine, where are you going? And I don't think the Bookers and the Victor Wembys, they don't have to be those guys. They just have to hoop, but there's no advertisement for it. You have these low mediums dudes on Twitter who are doing their shows, but unfortunately, that's not prime time. But my two beefs are that the NBA is trying to be like the NFL with salary cap and break it down and first apron, second apron. Nobody care about that stuff. Everybody was too busy trying to explain the apron during the off season and how this makes it work. No, we don't care about that stuff. Just tell me who on my team and how we got. Thank you, GM. Yeah. But on the other part, I just think the media. There's not enough media on actual basketball.
There's no more Ahmad Rashad. I get what you're saying. Yeah. Like Ahmad Rashad. We have not seen anything like that since. That's a very good point. And even Stephen A, the old school Stephen A. What was the show called? He had a damn talk show. Oh, damn, what was it called, bro? Huh?
He had interviewed players all the time. I remember that.
He had a show where it's like to Stephen's point where he was giving like spotlights on these players. But Ahmad Rashad to me is the first one I think of when I hear what Stephen's talking about, because he's right. NFL, that's a great analogy, because NFL, they have every Sunday right before games cut on, they have all these different, they'll talk about Josh Allen this week. So they have like a whole thing of Josh Allen in high school and what his dog's name is and things like that. And you're learning all about Josh Allen and stuff like that. And then now you care about Josh Allen if you're somebody who didn't care before. And you're right. And that's telling the story about the players. Now it seems like these shows are trying to keep up with the memes and stuff more so than telling those stories. So I think that's a phenomenal point. That's a phenomenal point. You have the internet for that. We don't need you guys. Right. We don't need ESPN and these shows to do that. We have the internet for that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Do what you guys did well and get back to that. I completely agree with you on that. That's a very good point. I don't.
That's what
Mike talked about. Yeah, that's a good thing. But here's my beef. There's one thing you said that I feel like is hard to really blame for, and you were saying that we need more superstars. The problem with that is right now in the AAU era, these stars that we're excited about outside of Ant's probably one of the only ones that are exempt from this rule. They're just too inconsistent. So you mentioned Devin Booker, and I love Devin Booker. That's my guy. But I don't know if you saw, I pulled up Devin Booker's stats, and there's a reason why you don't talk about Devin Booker, because this man had 44 the other night, but in between those games, he had 12 points and 17 points. So it's hard to carry that narrative with the inconsistencies with a lot of, and Devin Booker is not a great example because I feel like he's more consistent than non-consistent, but it just so happened that you brought him up and it was easy to talk about. Some of these guys are just a little inconsistent with the game. Anthony Edwards is not one of them. Anthony Edwards.
Can you tell me that can't be a media show where we're
right.
talking about a
you're
very
100%
good basketball player on a slump? And
that's why I love that point. When you started going off on that, I'm like, you're 100%. And I just instantly thought of Ahmad Rashad because he was the GOAT at that. Yeah. He was the GOAT at giving spotlights to these players that you already thought you knew, but you knew more about, and now you care about them. And that's a lost art. I think Brian Windhorst said that on ESPN the other day, that we lost the art of storytelling in the NBA, and it's true. And it's very true. I think that's a underrated. So I think that's a great point. Yeah, the salary and all that stuff.
For example, Jeremy McCain. very good basketball player. Ricky coming in and playing well. Dalton Kincaid, like there's enough talent that you don't have to just talk about the people like LeBron and Steph Curry.
Yeah.
And when you do,
It's a
or
good
you
point.
don't,
Quite frankly,
so
sorry.
like you talk.
Thank
So they have quite frankly, yeah.
Thank you.
The NFL inside the NFL Live, they have that during the show they have for basketball is Malika Andrews in there.
Trash.
Outside of I can't think of her name. Outside of her, who
Janae?
brings up basketball facts, like it's just her.
Yeah.
There's not like there's not enough. There's too many ex basketball players. How can you not just go talk to them and bring them like? But they you don't want to. That's why they have them start their own podcast.
Yeah.
Because I don't understand the NBA not bringing back NBA players to be a part and not just be a funny guy. Like I was just not Justin Jefferson, Richard Jefferson. We need more of him, but he's now doing TV stuff. But we just need more guys talking basketball.
Rich and Channing Frye.
Yeah, but they have their own podcast with Taylor, and like it's just the primetime shows just killing the NBA, man.
Yeah, because they're trying to go for the views, and they're going with what's working.
Killing it.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. That's an underrated point. Brandon, what you got? What you adding on, brother? What's your reasoning?
I mean, you guys brought up some points that I didn't even necessarily think about. So I'm gonna be real with y'all, but I think, I mean, it chimes on to what you guys have already said, but like Gilbert Arenas has said it. Kenny Beecham has also mentioned it a little bit. They've kind of priced out the average fan to be able, or at least the diehard fans,
yes.
both in arenas,
yes. Yep.
and as well as streaming services.
Yeah. Shout out to blackouts, baby.
I can
love me a good blackout. Thank you. Sorry, go ahead.
Like we live as a collective unit. I know Chris live out in New York, so he's probably even closer. But like we live about an hour away from Los Angeles, and we can't watch those games at all unless we pay $114
Make it make sense.
to be able to get one channel.
Make it make sense.
Yeah. And I think like if it's like that for the Lakers, I can only imagine what it is for the entire league. Like I got to be in OKC to be able to get a cheaper deal to watch the Lakers play.
Your own team, yeah.
Come on now.
That's brilliant. I ain't thinking that because that's crazy. I don't watch half their games because they be like, nope, not today.
Yeah.
And again, it's strictly to watch one team play. It's not even a league pass.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that alone has deterred a lot of people. Obviously, I think viewership is still better than what it's being reported as. It's just on illegal websites. Why do you think whatchamacallit, the owner for Dallas, was asking, hey, where are you guys getting these illegal websites?
Oh, yeah. Nobody answered. Nobody answered.
Right. Stand your ground, boys. Yeah. Stand your ground.
Like the ops are really asking us, like, what are you guys doing? Why aren't you watching our games? And nobody was really giving fair answer. Yeah. But the truth is, a lot of people are watching these streams on crack streams. There's another one that's a new one that's like meth streams.
Right,
or something
you don't
like
have to
that.
say. Don't be naming sources, bro. Come on.
My bad.
Come on, Narc. Dang, man.
They probably already took them down. They'll be back up in a couple of days. Don't matter. Anyway,
it's gonna be crack stream too. You know how it goes, right?
Ops enjoying the stream.
Golly.
Man, boy. Ops is on the streets. That's a good point, though. Think about that.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, it's like,
it's on my list. It's on my list.
And you charging, and let's not even get into the merch, because to this day, I'm fighting for Chris to find a Tracy McGrady jersey, New York Knicks.
Oh my God, I want one. I just
jersey.
Want one, bro. I just want one.
The cheapest I can find is $500.
$500, bro.
Now, you can make it obviously on NBA.com, but it's a minimum of $175. Minimum.
Too much.
Ain't the same.
And and that's a classic jersey. That's a retro jersey. We're not even talking about like today jersey.
Facts.
All those city jerseys that came out.
Bruh.
Again, that's another minimum 150.
That's Adam Silver and all them people. Because meanwhile, they out here
But it
trying
plays
to
a
pay
part.
players to show up to the All-Star game. But you try to make us pay for it.
Yeah,
It's a part of it. It's all a part of it, man. Great point. The blackout thing, man. Yeah, that's on my list, and that's huge, bro. Like you can't even watch a game in your own city, and that's just from television. And you're bringing to the point, buying a damn ticket, hell of expensive. Yeah,
And all it takes was, and we bougie in California. All it takes is one game. Oh, I can't watch.
Yeah,
I'll wait till it's been.
right.
Yeah,
right. Wait till exactly.
That's it.
I guess I'll watch
Which
the
is
highlights.
funny, because why would you not copycat the most popular league?
Bruh. Yeah.
They sell NFL ticket every year in Red Zone.
Yeah.
How do you not sell that with NBA? How have you in the NBA channel TV? Like, how have you not? Who is y'all?
Bro, NBA TV
like,
is such a waste of money, bro. That channel is useless.
Turner Sports, baby. Turner Sports.
Useless. That is the most useless channel in the history of channels. That NBA TV is the worst channel to be solely about one sport and be so bad. So bad.
Oh, man.
Ain't nothing NBA about NBA TV, bro. So I had to say
They
that.
got from the music to the color
Oh
landscape,
my
the
God.
personality.
Terrible,
There's
bro.
too many talented people in these streets to not have these guys on TV.
Yeah, man.
Don't make no sense.
Yeah.
Baron Davis should not be on a podcast. Teague should not be on a podcast. They should be on TV with the same group talking about sports.
Jeff T got my favorite podcast in the game. That's my favorite one, bro. Jeff T's podcast.
Don't make no sense.
None. And
They need to be paying all these NBA podcasts. Matt Barnes, Carmelo, get them all. Let them be themselves. Let them talk about. We gonna listen. We care about them.
Oh, Gil also mentioned this too. The same thing, that it just priced out the average fan and like your diehard fans. So,
yeah. Bro, growing up, I ain't even a Laker fan, but you used to just turn to Channel 9, bro, and then you catch a away Laker game and you change to FSN.
13, boy.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. They were just local TV. And then, now all these deal shots to Spectrum want to say, like, all right, bet you want to pay for Spectrum so you can watch Lakers? No? All right, then, blacked out. We'll see you in the next national televised game. Like, those kind of things, those make a difference because your viewership is not going to go towards you. You're not getting that money. But
the NBA didn't chase that right. They didn't market that right because they left it to the local teams and local networks to try and do that.
And they re-up that deal, by the way.
NFL just like, no, we own all of you.
No, right. Bro,
you are going to go play on CBS when we tell you to.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
And they re-up that deal. Blackouts ain't
Yeah.
going nowhere. They re-up that deal. I thought that when they were redoing everything in this new bargaining agreement, that was for sure going to be one of the things that they fixed. They said, no, we'll keep that up. No, we don't have to change that. You guys are doing a great job.
Yeah.
Shout out to...
And now these organizations are producing content. And enough content. Like, I love the Lakers, but I don't care about y'all's show if I can't see it. Don't care about none of it. Don't care.
So true, though.
Why is it not coming on right after the game if y'all gonna shit? Like, it's not even done well as just a regular fan.
Yep. That's
It's
right.
just dumb. Like, none of that makes sense. Why the NBA Cup should be free to everyone to watch.
Yep.
But they say you letting these governors do all what they need, and then you want to put cap on players. That's why for the next 5 years, every player don't worry about winning no ring. If you get one, great. You collect your money. You get paid.
Yep.
Just get paid.
Everybody get paid.
Before it was fun to get paid, be on the team, get traded. But now they're trying to control every aspect. Get paid. Everybody winning. LeBron care about winning. He paid. His son in the NBA. Who cares? It don't matter.
Well,
I think
Ain't fun.
I think it's safe to say Steve is not a fan of CJ McCollum. Don't you say, Chris?
What does CJ have to do with this?
Oh, CJ has everything to do about what's going on.
Yeah, he's over. Yeah. CJ made a lot of bad. I was pissed at him when he first did it. I was so mad. Think about this. The Cavs were undefeated.
Yeah.
And there was literally no news about it.
Yeah. until they were going to play the Celtics today. That was the first
blew
time
it
you
up.
heard about it.
That's crazy.
The first
to
time you heard
me.
about it. Yeah, facts. For casual fans, the first time they mentioned it was when they had that game today against the Celtics.
That is so crazy to me. We should be learning about Evan Mobley and Quinn Snyder. What has changed for him? Instead, Twitter and those reporters on there are doing an incredible job with their own pages,
But that's its own
maximizing
thing.
the information out there.
Yep. That's what I was just going to say. You know, we unfortunately, the NBA is not figuring it out, but fortunately for people like myself and the amazing people over at Knicks Fan TV, we're taking advantage of that opportunity. That's why you're seeing the likes of Jamal Crawford, Stephon Marbury's, Fat Joe, Scott, like any of your favorite local New York folks, they gonna be on social media, on YouTube, on Knicks Fan TV talking about it. They ain't on MSG Network because they don't know how to handle that kind of stuff. They don't know how to run that kind of stuff because they're leaving that open because they're focusing on the wrong things. They're focusing on the sports betting and they're focusing on what is trending. Let's piggyback off of that and do it poorly because that's where our money's supposed to be at. So that is, Steven brought up a point that I didn't even think about. That is so true. Just the storytelling aspect. I know in this generation, some people are gonna say, like, man, that's kind of cringe to hear about the man. Look, I tell you what, when you start hearing about some of these stars you didn't think you cared about before, and then you start seeing like they got 3 puppies named so and so, and they inspired them to be a better basketball player, and you start to feel something in your heart, and you now all of a sudden you care about, I don't know, like Jalen Green. Like that's another player that nobody talks about who's having a great season and a half from last year to right now. No one cares because he's playing for the Houston Rockets, where no one cares what's going on in Houston because no one's really pushing Houston to give anybody a reason to care. You know what I mean? That's such a good point. That's such a good point. The media
They have no personality on TV.
Yeah,
it sucks. But the podcasts are cooked. Like
just social media in general. All the best content on social media.
The
YouTube,
writers,
podcasts, all that. Yeah,
whole thing.
Yeah. 100%.
Lakers got like 3 B writers. Some of them hate them, some not, but it's always something to talk about with them on Twitter. And they should maximize on X. And that's like all the B writers who do it locally, I respect them because I read about it. I like knowing about everybody's team. If you write for them, I don't care if you own, I'm like, let me watch. Because the NFL gets both of it. There are people, I was like, man, it feels really great. They own all the rights, right? But then there are people who make their own podcast or their own thing live, and they have built their own media. They don't even work for the team. They just build it, and they're going to talk about it and spam it. Content creation is at its all-time high, and this sport don't have any of it.
Actually has a lot of it. Shout out to CK2. Go subscribe to the channel if you
I
haven't
mean, from
already.
the NBA.
No. You're 100% correct. But no,
with them.
It's the podcast, like you said. It's the podcast. It's the podcast, and then like you just mentioned, that ends up being more popping to the casual fan than whatever it is that ESPN and these major networks are trying to sell. Because we actually want to hear about. Like I love hearing the stories that you've never heard about before from these players that are just willing to tell them. But there's no actual platform to do it because no one cares about that stuff, unfortunately, anymore, when they should be caring. Like you said, media not doing their job. Instead, they're just trying to get the headlines and trying to be first on things that nobody's going to care about after the day is done. But yet you got like the Jeff Teagues, like you're hearing stories from like DeMar DeRozan, players that don't speak out and don't say anything. You're hearing these great stories on podcasts by other NBA players, like missed opportunities that are really, that's something that I did not entirely think
How
about.
have you not
that's
found your
true.
Mina
It's true.
Kimes, your Dan Arlovsky, your Marcus Spears, your Ryan Clark? How have you not? There's plenty of those guys for basketball that can still do their jobs. But how Gilbert Arenas not on here with other guys that could be on there? I'm just saying, like, there's enough hoopers out here who have played the game. The fact that LeBron goes, there's not enough shows talking about basketball. JJ, let's talk about basketball. And everyone's glued in listening to it and taking it from that aspect of it.
Yeah.
Basketball's too fun to out here just be like, man, you know Draymond pushed another dude and got a technical?
Yeah.
Like, the story dead. Don't care.
But yeah, I would love to hear what you guys think on that as well in the comment section. Right now in the chat, I'm gonna go through some of the things you guys are adding on. Again, there is a comment section. If you're specifically listening on Spotify, they have a comment section on Spotify too. We'd love to hear that as well if you're listening to the audio only or watching the VOD. I want to hear, because there's so many things. I have a list. I was gonna put out a short, but it's too long that it might have to be a whole ass YouTube video. Yeah, 100%. I stand on business. Cap agrees too. He said I agree with CK, refs and lack of defense. I'm telling you, that's why I'm surprised y'all don't agree with me on that. I feel like that's common sense.
Mr. Joel Embiid over there talking.
No, bro, I feel like that is a huge thing. I think Bill Simmons talked about it too. Like a lot of people.
CK, in context.
Yeah, I know the Knicks thing.
Enough games to know
about it. Full circle. There it is. You're right. So you would know.
So even when I do watch it, I'm like, I finally get to watch. So I didn't even know.
So you didn't even know that's going on. Yeah, no, that's what. Yeah, man. Yeah, I feel like we end up talking more about the wrong calls and these next day reports than we talk about like the actual highlight.
They do need to get back to letting guys play.
Yeah,
shots should be earned.
I hated that.
We grew up in the greatest era of basketball with dudes. When he dropped 40, you knew he worked huge for that 40.
Yeah, facts, man. I don't know. But like I said, I would love to hear everyone else's read. Let me read a few of them from the chat real quick. Scrolling up, Dale, heavy is the head that wears the crown. Talk to him, CK. Thank you. Edgar Allen Fro, he says, I agree with CK. Refs, lack of defense, and rolling blackouts. So basically covered all this the bases that we had. Right. There should be no reason why you should have trouble, watching your local team. It's easier to just find a stream to see them play. Right. Streams like, which ones, B-War? You were naming them? Because you're okay.
Amnesia.
I forgot. Yeah, man. I'm that boy said if the NBA got rid of the salary cap, it would be crazy. But crazy in a good way, bro. It'd be crazy.
Steve right there. Salary crap.
Salary crap. Right. Yeah, my fault. Yeah,
bring it back to always. Bring it back. Nobody care about the numbers fit and he makes $1 more than the other one. That's second apron out. No, Adam Silver. We don't care about that stuff.
He's so concerned about the small markets, bro, and it's so annoing, bro.
They make up more than half of the NBA, though, guys. Come on.
The barbershops don't care.
Yeah, right, man. And look at OKC, bro. OKC would be fine with or without salary cap right now. They did all this by themselves with working with whatever system you gave them. They did that all homegrown. So it is not a small market problem. Like, yeah, we could talk about these guys wanting to stay long term, but that's still up to these teams actually caring and knowing what to do with their product. Shout out to OKC. I don't care if there was no salary cap or with the salary cap we have right now, OKC would be the exact same team, point blank, period. So that's more of a problem for the owners and the GMs and how those teams are ran. Look at Milwaukee, man. You out here trying to save Milwaukee with all these. They're one of the main small market teams that you are trying so hard to save, and they are still throwing away opportunities by hiring coaches that don't make no damn sense, making trades that make no damn sense, still not using the money the right way to fill out the rest of the roster. Like, small markets are gonna be small markets regardless. Just leave it how it was. And that's such a good point too. The salary cap, you're so right. Because think about all these small market teams that are still being helped. The only small market team that really benefited maybe San Antonio because they got that draft pick for Wembanyama. Other than that, how's Charlotte doing, bro? How's Charlotte doing? You know what I mean? Milwaukee. How Milwaukee doing? You know, John Morant, he play every other day, but how Memphis doing? How New Orleans doing? These small markets teams, they are not taking advantage of this extra money you're trying to give them. Like, it ain't even working out. Now I'm here sitting thinking about it. Portland. How Portland doing, bro? Shout out to my man Shaden Sharp, but
the NBA doesn't want to be like,
that's crazy. Now I'm thinking about
Major League Baseball, where nobody's in their stadium.
Well, they get in there anyway, so I don't know what to tell you, bro.
Bro, don't nobody want a bunch of we want to see players, but you gotta first let us see it. Second off, you can market anything you want if you have a good marketer. Mm-hmm. There's no reason that the Kay Cunningham's, Jared McCain's, the Jalen Greens, the what's the kid from there's
McCain?
Another kid.
Which one?
No, I already said McCain. From the on the Pistons, I forget. Dane Ivey. Like they're just good players who aren't those guys that you can tell a story about each last one. And Kay Cunningham got hurt. Look at him coming back. Jalen Green been through a lot. He's now a father now. Look at him playing this way. Like, how much has changed from the Rockets? Like, there's enough stories. Redemption stories work too. And if you don't play the games that where you got the heavy hitters with Draymond Green against Jordan Poole, we saw the highlight. What was that a big deal? Like, this is the first time in a while we've seen these two in the same building. What is it gonna look like? What's the suspense? Like there's not enough stories in there that don't have to be let's follow him home and let's see what he does on his off season. There's just enough in season we should be able to see that they should take ownership. But I like Adam Silver, but he trending the wrong way in terms of being a good commissioner.
Yeah,
he trending the wrong way, in my opinion.
And he started off so well too, but he just I don't know. It feels like he's just trying to cater to too much instead of making concrete decisions.
All-Star idea is terrible.
Yeah. The All-Star
don't have it.
The problem with the All-Star game is not you. That's the thing, Adam Silver. You're not the problem. Your product is the issue. You need to figure out a way to get them to play. You could bring whoever you want to bring from Australia or Europe to come over here and play. None of that stuff gonna work until you figure out a way to get your NBA All-Stars to play in the game and actually care about it again. It don't matter what kind of rules and regulations you got. The game's still gonna be trash one way or another. It took, rest in peace and God rest his soul, it took Kobe Bryant to die for the All-Star game to be good again for a season. Because people all of a sudden cared because they wanted to honor him. And then did nothing with that, and it was asked again the very next year. You know what I mean? Like there's just so many other things that I feel like they're missing the mark on. And that All-Star game, that's a conversation for another day. We're going to have that conversation for sure.
February.
Sure. We definitely want to have that conversation. Sorry, let me catch up on chat. Rick said, I blame LeBron. He's holding back the new star power like Ant from taking over the face of the league. I disagree. LeBron is just doing what LeBron does, and he's just been very good at being LeBron for a long time, and people still care. Whether you hate him or love him, a lot of the time I feel like people hate him just because they actually truthfully love him, but they want to hate him. But, I'm going to let y'all keep hating.
No LeBron slander, my boy. No LeBron slander. They on a version 6-game win streak.
Don't miss him when he's gone. Then what?
That's for sure.
Oh, you already know that's
I'm gonna miss him when he gone.
Yeah, Ghetto hates that we keep bringing up Jalen Green. He hated that we brought up Jalen Green. It was just an example. It was just an example. Jalen Green is 22 years old. He's had, but look, we get it. Rocky, but Ghetto hated that example. He hated that we brought up Jalen Green.
He's like the epitome of mediocre, and unfortunately,
who's the epitome of mediocre?
Jalen Green right now.
Hey, you've been disrespectful.
No, like you guys were right. Last season, towards the end of the season,
but that's what I said.
Was balling.
That's what I mentioned. That's what I mentioned. I mentioned last year.
But like right now, it's just very much. They got too many guards, in my opinion. But
shout out to Menton.
But they're winning.
Right.
Yeah,
it's not because of Jalen Green.
That's a conversation in itself. They have a lot there. They're managed. How are we making this work? Why have we not seen a story on the Celtics with this Fab Five? Why have we not maximized anything? Why do we not get any Jokic segment with his brothers? Like, how is the marketing team and creativity this bad?
It's bad.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Yeah.
There's too much information. Why is there not a 10-minute segment on old man Chris Paul figuring out his time again, helping a young team get better? There's so much information that can be for families and kids to be inspired and their kids and whatever. Just going to Syracuse with his father. Like there's so many things that Adam Silver and his creative team need to be taken care of that will at least compensate that part of it.
I think that's more of the ESPNs and Turners and stuff like that. Disney and they. I think that's more them. They need to
get rid of
all
of them.
Yeah, they no. You're very right, but I think that's they're focused on the wrong things, bro. They all focus about the wrong things.
We'll see. Get in those conversations with them people.
Let's see what NBC does. Let's see NBC right now. They
That's
forming
true.
up a dope Avengers squad. I love the Blake Griffin signing. I love the Jalen Rose. Like they're picking up good past players that I feel like could be entertaining on multiple different ways. We'll see if they pick it up.
I think
right? That's what I'm saying. So like that. Let's see what they do. NBC. Is they handle the NFL and they have great pieces on Sunday Night Football. So we'll see if they figure it out now that they're gonna have the reins to the NBA next year. But I think that's a phenomenal point that I didn't even think about was the whole media aspect, how they're handling it. The way, yeah,
Y'all gonna hold it down.
Franz
Y'all
Wagner's
gonna
a very
hold it
good point. Yeah, you're right, but that's the point. That's the point we're making, though. You just proved Steven's point right there by bringing up Franz Wagner. We couldn't. The casual fan probably couldn't tell you that. Brandon just finished saying that he didn't watch not one Orlando Magic game yet.
The game.
I couldn't.
That you proved his point.
Cooking.
You're proving the point right there. You're proving the point right there. A Franz Wagner piece would have hit perfectly after the Paulo Banchero injury. Franz Wagner, like that. You are proving the point right there. You are proving the point right there. Point of the matter is,
Adam, call me, bro. I got you, bro. I got you on all the creativity ideas.
Oh,
relentless.
Man. Outside the NBA on NBC, right? I'm trying to see Jokic, talking about his 10 horses. I want to see Jokic smile, bro. Talking about his 10 different horses. I want, you know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff. I agree. I think that stuff matters. But there's a lot of long laundry list. Can't wait to hear what you guys have to say. We're probably, this is not the last time we're going to bring it up because I guarantee it's going to get brought up again, especially around All-Star season when all the minds come together and they're going to be mentioning the numbers and how it's different and stuff. We're going to be back on this subject again for sure. Sure. He said Brandon the casual. He just took you out. Golly. Don't call Mr. Laker. Okay, bro. But on that note, that's it for us today, bro. This was a great episode. Love the conversation that came about with every topic we had today. We talked about the Bucks. We talked about Philadelphia and both of those teams being raggedy for many different reasons. Talked about the viewership in the NBA, and as I mentioned before, would love to hear your guys' takes on the VOD, on wherever you are listening to this podcast at. We would love to hear it. We could talk about it. Eventually, we're going to have segments where we read a lot of the comments from those things. So don't feel like it will not be heard or seen because it will. But that's it, man. Y'all Lakers, did they win? They end up winning? I wasn't paying attention.
Six straight, my boy.
120 to 111 with 27 seconds. So I think we won it.
120, 111. Look at y'all, bro. Look at y'all. And it was that 10 and.
Buddy said that like it was a close game.
we're like letting Utah hang in the game right now. So I'm.
Take our wins.
You know me, man. I'm not. When we had the championship team, I was always like, I was skeptical. I was like, I don't know. I don't think this is our year and stuff like that. So I am the reluctant, like, I'm not going to be that Laker fan.
The pessimist. You know me. The pessimistic Laker fan.
I'll leave that to you, Steven. I'll leave that to you.
I hold it down over here. I hold it down.
All right, y'all. That's our time. We will see you guys same time next week. Just stay tuned. If you're subscribed to the channel, subscribe. If you are not subscribed, subscribe right now. If you're not following us wherever you get podcasts, go check it out. It's been got B War over on the other side, War's World, the Laker Casual, according to Dale. We got the coach, Mr. Tillman, on the other side. Hit him up, ESPN and TNT. He has ideas and he's ready to let them fly. And it's been your boy CK. You can follow all of our social medias underneath our names. But yeah, that's it, man. We'll see y'all next week. Be easy.
See you.
Let's go, Knicks.
Take care.